A kind hairstylist was fired for helping a struggling veteran. 30 minutes later, justice arrived. Maya Evans was a young woman in her late 20s with a heart as warm as the summer sun in her small town of Harmony Creek. While her friends chased high-paying jobs in big cities, Maya found her calling as a hairstylist. She had been fascinated with hair and beauty since she was a little girl. Her dream was simple: to one day own her very own salon. Her parents, however, did not share her vision. They wanted her to study engineering in college. When Maya, at 19, chose to follow her passion instead, they asked her to leave their home. But Maya's spirit was not easily broken. Weeks later, she found a job at the Gilded Shears, one of the biggest salons in town. She worked there for years, becoming the heart and soul of the place. In Harmony Creek, news traveled fast, and everyone knew Maya. They didn't just come for a haircut. They came for her kindness, her cheerful spirit, and her wonderful sense of humor. She knew her customers by name, remembered their children's birthdays, and always made them feel truly cared for. On one bright summer morning, Maya decided to stop at a street coffee stand before opening the salon. As she waited for her order, she bumped into Leo Vance. Leo was a man in his early 40s who had served in the military. Nearly everyone in Harmony Creek knew his story. He had struggled to adjust to civilian life after his service. His wife had divorced him shortly after he returned, and his life had spiraled downward. He became depressed, lost touch with the world, and couldn't keep a job. Most days, he relied on the quiet kindness of his neighbors for help. That morning, like most mornings, Leo looked scruffy. His hair and beard were long and unkempt. "Hey, Leo, how are you doing today?" Maya asked with a bright, genuine smile. "Hi, Maya. I'm fine. It's great to see you," Leo responded, his voice soft. "Want some coffee?" Maya offered. "Oh, I wouldn't want to be a bother," he said. I said, looking down. "Oh, come on. We're friends, Leo. Why would you be a bother?" Maya chuckled. She turned to the vendor and ordered another coffee for her friend. Soon they were walking together toward the salon, sipping their warm drinks. Maya could see the small gesture had already lifted Leo's spirits. He sounded happier, and his smile, though rare, appeared more often as they chatted. When they reached the front of the salon, Leo thanked her again for the coffee and started to say goodbye. "One more thing, Leo," Maya said, her smile widening. "If you're free later today, you could come by the salon. I'll give you a haircut. On me." "Oh no, you don't have to. What you've done is already enough," Leo insisted. "I insist, Leo. It's on me. Come whenever you're free. I'll be waiting for you," Maya said warmly. "Thank you so much, Maya. I'll come later today," Leo said, a flicker of hope in his eyes before he walked away. After opening the salon, Maya couldn't stop thinking about Leo. She remembered him in his glory days, a hero the whole town looked up to. It was heartbreaking to see how much things had changed for him. How could a man who gave so much for others now have so little for himself? Later that afternoon, just as Maya finished with a customer, Leo appeared at the door. She greeted him with a welcoming smile and guided him to her chair. She wrapped a clean strip around his neck and draped the cape over his shoulders. About 10 minutes into the haircut, her boss, Ms. Victoria Blackwood, walked in. Ms. Blackwood was a woman in her 40s, known throughout Harmony Creek for her sharp tongue and colder heart. She cared about one thing and one thing only: money. People's feelings were just distractions from her profits. At first, she didn't say a word. Instead of going to her office, she sat on one of the waiting chairs, her eyes fixed on Maya and Leo, her expression like ice. When Maya was finally done, the transformation was incredible. With a neat haircut and a clean-shaven face, Leo looked like a new man. He looked in the mirror, and for the first time in a long time, a genuine, full smile spread across his face. He thanked Maya with all his heart. As Leo was about to leave, Ms. Blackwood's sharp voice cut through the air. "And his payment?" Maya quickly stepped in. "Oh, about his money, Ms. Blackwood. I wanted to tell you that you can take it out of my paycheck. I wanted to give him a treat." "No, Maya, I cannot allow that," Ms. Blackwood said, her tone dripping with disdain. "I did not build my business to this level by giving free haircuts to people who cannot afford to pay for one." Her words were like a slap in the face. Ma'am, I think you're mistaken, Maya said, trying to keep her voice steady. Leo didn't just walk in. I invited him here. I saw him this morning and I wanted to help. I do not care if you saw him earlier today or 10 years ago. Ms. Blackwood's voice rose to a yell. If Leo does not pay for the haircut he just received, then you're fired. Please, it has not gotten to that. Let me. Leo tried to speak, his face filled with shame and regret. There will be no need for that, Leo, Maya said, turning to him with a reassuring look. You can go. I will join you shortly. With that, Leo reluctantly walked out of the salon, his newfound confidence shattered. Immediately after Leo left, several townspeople saw him walking down the street. They noticed he was unusually moody, his shoulders slumped and his head down. A woman who ran the nearby bakery stopped him. What is it, Leo? Is everything all right? No, everything is not all right, he said, his voice sad and depressed. That nice salon lady, Maya, gave me a free haircut, and her boss fired her for it. The woman gasped. A man standing beside her chimed in. You're not being serious, right? I know Maya. She's a good girl. Why would her boss do something like that? The woman asked, her voice filled with disbelief. As Leo explained what had happened, a small crowd started to gather. Each person who heard the story grew more and more furious. The news of Maya being fired for her kindness spread through Harmony Creek like wildfire. Somehow, the story reached the town's mayor. When he heard that Maya was being punished for an act of compassion, he knew he had to do something. Back in the salon, Maya was quietly cleaning up the hair on the floor, preparing to leave for good. She had no idea that a wave of justice was heading her way. Just 30 minutes after Leo had left, the mayor walked into the salon, with Leo right beside him. As Maya was about to grab her bag and leave, she saw them. Ms. Blackwood's eyes widened in shock. She rushed over to greet the mayor, her fake smile plastered on her face. Outside, Maya could see a large crowd of townspeople gathered behind the mayor, their faces a mixture of support and anger. Welcome, Mr. Mayor. To what do we owe this pleasant surprise? Ms. Blackwood asked sweetly. The mayor ignored her completely and turned to Maya. Hello, Maya. Is it true that your boss fired you because you gave Mr. Vance here a free haircut? He asked, his voice calm but firm. Maya glanced at Ms. Blackwood, who was shaking her head slowly, a silent warning for Maya to lie. But Maya had had enough. She looked the mayor straight in the eye. Yes, Mayor, that's true, she answered clearly. I was just about to leave before you walked in. The mayor smiled warmly. For your kindness, Maya, the people of Harmony Creek and I have decided to reward you with a little something. This is to show our appreciation and to encourage you to keep being a good person. He handed Maya a beautiful certificate of recognition and a big white envelope. Maya's heart soared. She couldn't believe what was happening. She proudly accepted the certificate and took a picture with the mayor. When she peeked inside the envelope and saw how much money the town had gifted her, she was speechless. Tears of joy streamed down her face. Thankfully, Maya made a smart decision that changed her life forever. A few months later, she used the money to open her own beauty salon, right in the heart of Harmony Creek. To show their support, the townspeople stopped going to the Gilded Shears. Instead, they all went to Maya's salon for their haircuts and styles. Her business was an overwhelming success. Soon she opened a second branch, and her income continued to grow. As for Ms. Blackwood, she was forced to close her salon. All her old customers had left, and she eventually went out of business. She learned a hard lesson about greed and cruelty, but it was far too late. The true currency of life isn't money. It's the kindness we give and receive. If you loved this story of justice and compassion, tap that like button and subscribe for more. Let us know how this story made you feel in the comments below.